Hello! Welcome to White Door Tarot, where the reader is bubbly, but the readings can get dark. So let's get into September second half reading for Aquarius. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the Animal Oracle. Ooh, Phoenix, Firefly. Seeing a theme here. And there it is. You, come with me. Beaver. Okay. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high frequency charge cannot be sustained for long, therefore, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, writes creates brainstorms. When out of balance, burnt out feels dull. To bring into balance, write a poem, draw. Freedom from suffering and past karma reincarnation. The phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication, tapas. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are and what has happened to us or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up and up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings. Beaver. Hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. The beaver personality is a welcome sight. These good natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of the earth element, providing a home, financial stability. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long term steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga. Selfless service. When in balance, happy, meaningful work. When out of balance, feels useless, worn out. To bring into balance, physical labor, selfless service. In all honesty, Aquarius, the feeling that I get and the thing that I heard, I don't know what the point is, but something said you're missing the point. Don't know what else to say about that, to be honest with you. That was all I got. You're missing the point. Now, let's see what they mean. Aquarius, love. The Empress and the Lovers. The World. The Seven of Wands. Daughter of Cups. The Tower. I'm just gonna say that as a Taurus, I am literally allergic to that card. Oh, that one did a little dance on its way out. The Hermit. Two of Swords. Ah, there you go. Blindfold card. Son of Swords. No more. Okay. You are going through a very transformative time right now. Shake-ups, things, endings, new beginnings, things happening in your life that have the potential to be very transformative to who you are. The blindfold card is here. Son of Swords is here, popping off the tower, it feels like. Also, just occurred to me that the Son of Swords is a winged animal. Feels like, okay, it feels like the tower crumbled and you just took off, flew away. You didn't feel really the aftermath of the tower crumbling, you just took off. And then, instead of going hermit mode, and notice how there's two different flames here, instead of going hermit mode, introspecting about the experience, Daughter of Cups, tapping into your heart, you just took off. And the Seven of Wands is about recovery. It's the light in the dark. It's the aha, I'll follow that light. Firefly here, fleeting light. This feels like that fleeting light. It feels like a moment that you can channel into some profound transformation, but you're bypassing it. You're just barely missing the point. Recovering from this is not your lesson. Your lesson was in the mess. This isn't, look what happened to me and I just flew off. I'm so strong and so powerful and I got over it so quickly. That's not it. That's not the point. And with the World here, the Empress and the Lovers, this feels like external distractions right now. I know that the Empress is, the Empress. The Lovers is the Lovers, a choice, a decision, romantic connection. But with the way that it's attached to the endings and beginnings of cycles, the World makes me feel like you're supposed to go this way into hermiting, being by yourself, processing and introspecting. But it's like you went from one thing to another and you're skimming the surface instead of diving in deep. I know this is a love reading, so let's tie this into love. Love is a distraction right now. Love is just a distraction right now. It's not through this that you transform, that you grow. It's through doing this. It's not about what's happening to you, it's about letting what happens inside of you happen. It's probably why I heard missing the point earlier. It seems that the eclipse did do what it was supposed to do with your life: shake things up, faded endings, faded beginnings. And it's fine if you want to continue this, but simultaneously, these should not become a distraction to you. You need to go this way. You need to go into hermit mode for a minute and actually process what happened to you and why. And something that I actively had to teach myself is to not go into claiming the position of the victim. When we process things, the hard things that happen in our lives, it's easy to go into a victim mentality and say, oh, it was all their fault. Oh, I couldn't help. I can't control the weather, Jackie. You know, it's easy. It's the easy way out to do that, to say, yeah, I had no blame in the matter. Don't know what they're talking about. I didn't do that. But the blindfold being here tells me that there's something that you're blind to in this situation. This is about sitting down and taking accountability. This is about sitting down and asking yourself, truly, honestly, did I have nothing to do with this? Did I make the best decisions possible? And it's not until you do that that you could possibly have the capacity to show up for an empress. Aquarius is a very thinky sign. Aquarius tends to not be very feely. But what I'm getting with this is less thinky, more feely. Less thinky, more feely. Okay, now let's move on. I think I spat out everything that needed to be spat out. All right. Aquarius work. You're a stubborn one. Four of Pentacles, Temperance. Who else is here? Ten of Wands, Daughter of Pentacles. I saw the Four of Swords just fly away. We got the Three of Swords. Here we are. Ace of Wands. Nine of Swords. And that feels like it. Temperance feels like it belongs in the middle. Four of Pentacles. Four of Swords. Three of Swords. Ten of Wands. Nine of Swords. Ace of Wands. Daughter of Pentacles. Aquarius, Temperance feels like the center of this reading because the loudest message that I was getting while I was pulling cards was balance. 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 And I think they told me to stop when they did, because when we lay it all out this way, again, less thinky, more feely. I say this because When we split out the swords, the pentacles, and the wands, there's an imbalance. Wands and pentacles have exactly two cards each. Three swords came out. Swords is about the mind, it's about communication and thinking. Pentacles is about material. Wands is about action. I'm not looking at the individual cards just yet. I'm looking at the overall balance because that's what kept repeating in my head was balance. Feels like you're more intellectually processing, going through your life on a head level, rarely ever taking action on what you're thinking. And where are the cups? That's the thing. And with the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Wands being here, it feels like deep down you do know that there's something within you that needs to be repaired. Deep down within you, there's something that is hurting you. But it's like you're thinking your way through it instead of feeling your way through it. Oh, and with this being a work reading, balance applies to work life too. And it's like you're prioritizing. Didn't I just say this to you like 2 weeks ago? And it's like I can't speak. You're prioritizing something over your pentacles right now. Your pentacles are showing up as the Daughter of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. I'm not seeing any kings or queens here. I'm not seeing a Ten of Pentacles. I'm seeing a Four of Pentacles, and that tells me that your finances are kind of in lack right now. I'm just hearing the word prioritize over and over again. Prioritize. Balance and prioritize. There are other things that need your attention. And then when I thought about the Three of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Wands, I heard like a gear stop, kind of like a kind of thing, like a jammed gear that won't turn. Feels like an internal blockage. And for some reason, I'm hearing that a cup will be born from this, the Four of Swords. It's about finding enlightenment, sitting long enough, processing long enough, healing to find enlightenment. Hermit Jr., Ace of Wands, taking action. There it is, Ace of Cups. Starting to balance things out by introducing emotion, tapping into emotion. This feels more like a shadow work reading, honestly, but in this context, it does look like it's affecting your money because we have only one initiatory wand energy card. The swords are all stuck. Nine of Swords is about anguish, anxiety, pain, depression. Three of Swords is also about pain, heartbreak. Four of Swords is the only actually healing, processing energy here, and it's still about stagnancy. It's about pause, not about movement. Ten of Wands is about burden. Four of Pentacles is about holding on to your resources, not generating more. You're stuck in your head, but you need to get into your heart. It's affecting your work. Balance. Prioritize. That's all I keep hearing. And they're very insistent. They're very insistent, persistent, and repetitive. But I think we got the message by now. People be like, why are you so mean to Aquarius? I think it's because Aquarius is like a fixed air sign and they're very thinky, not so much feely. And you almost kind of got to whack them on the head with a club to get them to get a message to sink in. All right, Aquarius shadow work. There we go. Ace of Cups is back. Ten of Cups. There we go. Now we're talking. Oh, Nine of Wands. Daughter of Swords. The Hermit. Five of Wands and Justice or Judgment. The Chariot. There we go. There we go. All right. Five of Wands. Daughter of Swords. Daughter of Swords I like to see because Daughter of Swords is a sword card, but she's a little more in her heart. Ace of Cups. The Hermit. Nine of Wands coming back into the light. Persistence. Hope. Ten of Cups. Judgment and the Chariot. Yes. Yes. All right. Five of Swords is about conflict. Inner conflict, it feels like, because you're stuck in your head. Daughter of Swords is about taking a little bit more of an emotional approach to your thought processes. Ace of Cups. Tapping into your heart. The Hermit. Going inward. Nine of Wands. Climbing upward. Hope. Into the Ten of Cups. Emotional fulfillment. Judgment and the Chariot feel like the outlier cards that are connected to the Hermit. What I keep calling an outlier is what to me energetically feels like it colors the whole process. All of this happens for these. There's something that you're processing through, and maybe you already know that you're meant to tap in a little more into your heart rather than being in the headspace. And once you let your heart speak, that is what's going to trigger judgment. And that is what's going to trigger the Chariot. Movement, fast movement, victory, success. Because you're missing the point means You're missing the point. You're missing the point in here. The point is the human experience of feeling. The point is not what we know, but what we feel. It feels like you've just been skimming the surface. And I don't know if you've come to this conclusion on your own or not, but you're meant to dig deeper. You're meant to go here. Because when we let the mind speak on its own, with no interruptions, the way I feel it is it's almost kind of like a supercomputer. It's processing itself into a haywire. We overthink or we underthink. We miss the point. The heart moves a little more slowly. It slows down long enough to let experiences sink in. So we don't just remember, we remember. The heart and the mind are meant to connect and work together. Because when the heart is not allowed to speak, the heart is not allowed to touch anything, we remember things on a very surface level. It's kind of like how every time I smell peanut butter cookies, I remember my childhood friend's house. Every time I hear trains, I remember my home in Japan. Every time I smell this certain smell, I remember the entryway to my grandmother's house. Those are the ties that can be created when you let your heart connect with your mind. And that only makes life richer. It's almost like, let's say, if you're operating only from your headspace, you're drinking a yoo-hoo, which is basically chocolate flavored water. But when you let your heart come into play, it's like drinking a hot chocolate. It only makes life richer. It's more vulnerable, but it's more decadent. That's the stuff we live for. You can't supercomputer your way away from a tower. You have to step into here. And it looks like there's something going on in your heart space that you've been ignoring. The Two of Swords blindfold cards coming to mind right now. But if you can do that, if you can activate your heart after a long time of keeping it in the closet, I see good things ahead for you. Well, I think that that's all I can do for today. If you like what you saw here today, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment to help me out with the algorithm. Though I don't know why you would, since I just beat you upside the head with a club. And support the channel in any way you feel compelled to. Hit the notification button so that you get notifications every time I post a video. And I'll see you in the next one.